Overnight, we heard from the incoming PBOC Governor Yi Gang, who really stepped up the talk in China about really opening their doors to investment.
With this new open door policy, I'm confident that China's financial markets will be more competitive, better regulated, and also serve the real economy much better. It's a fair competition and a level playing field, so Chinese companies and foreign firms can compete equally.
Yeah, and at the same time, the president, Lisa, has now come along and tweeted this morning and said, you know what, things are going much better than we thought. This is what he said in part. There's so much fake news about what is going on in the White House. Very calm and calculated with a big focus on open and fair trade with China. So the president believes we're headed in the right direction.
Well, I think the rhetoric is the most important thing here. China clearly toning down any escalation that we saw previously between the U.S. and China. Another key point is that the head of the People's Bank of China clearly said, Yi Gang, clearly said that, or indicated they weren't going to be using their foreign currency, their exchange rate as a tool. They're not going to try to depreciate the yuan in response to escalating sanctions. So that sort of takes one potential risk off the table as they try to open up their market. So definitely a change in tone.
And it's interesting, though, because if you take a look at European equities, for example, the DAX is the underperformer of the year. And that, to me, really speaks of a, well, rolling over of the data one. But really, it's also a trade war since Germany has so much relationship with China in terms of their exports.
But actually, a lot of the cars that Germany sells in China are made in China. They're made in joint ventures with companies like Shanghai Automotive. And especially if you look at the tech companies, which seem to be, well, tech has been high on the list of potential targets of sanctions. Now, a lot of the stuff that is made in China and exported to the US is from the likes of Apple. That supports 1 million Chinese jobs. I can't see China being willing to crack down on that in any forceful way because that affects them in a substantive way. Although those areas are in sort of special economic zones, which make it easier to import without any duties.
You know, one thing, the reason why I say it's mostly rhetoric is because the big question right now with China is, you know, how do they guarantee the intellectual property of the companies coming into their country? How do they protect that and not just steal it the way that they have in the past? This still hasn't been addressed.